spray from the waterfall sprinkles out like fine dust at my father's place out there at Bunday Bunday.
No place like home. Ngayon bomba gorilang ngayon bomba. What I'm telling you is what true. Yeah. Yes. There's no place like.
This is Jirrbal Creek. The word Jirrbal means the king parrot, and the other parrot, the big one, it covers both types of parrot. And up inside there is what they call Jirrbal Hill, but it's known by Aboriginal people as Jirrbal. This narrow waterway down here comes right through solid stone and goes back up to the falls up there, which is known as Jirrbal Falls. This is Jirrbal and Gulngay country. All Jirrbal people own up that way, from here right up to the falls. And my dad told me when he was a little boy with the old people, he said they'd get a piece of lawyer cane and poke it through a big chunk of cassowary fat and tie it around his neck, and that was his food as he was walking through the hills, and he'd just chew on the cassowary fat. And he said when they came down here, Aboriginal people have a technique of getting scrubbing eggs that have gone rotten, and they put it in the water, and all the big eels, my dad said in the early day, eels anything up to 8 inches through, they used to catch them here. And as soon as they smell that what's them in the water, the eels just go mad and come up and come straight up, and then they catch them. Auntie Maisie, who lives in Ravenshoe still, is I think about the last Aboriginal I know of that's actually walked backward and forwards to the tableland in the early days. There was a big camp across the river here. My mum told me she ran away from the in South Mission Beach mission those days after the 1918, and they were living and hunting in this area, and she said she went over there and there was a ridge there, she told me, she said was just white with bones. And it took me a long time to figure that, but the native police came down this track and across and wiped the tribe out over there on the other side. So that's why there's not too many Aboriginal people left in this area, because it's probably the biggest massacre site in the Tully-Cardwell area. I used to be the logging manager, or what they call a scrub boss, for the timber company called Lawson's, and later became Foxwood. And I walked all this country on my own looking for timber. And one day I went up here and followed this thing for miles way up into the hills there. Then I came over the hill looking for timber there, and it's quite unusual in there. Every different part of the Shire has all got different atmosphere and different plants and birds and things in it. And that's a highly unusual place in there. I'm trying to think, old man Jimmy Goy was one of the old Aboriginal people that came from here, and I think it's his head that a fellow named Ormy Butler told me took up and put on top of the hill and faced it looking down the valley so that he could look over his country again. The Aboriginals did that when he died. The other thing is that same fellow Ormy Butler reckons it's one of these holes here, most likely this one. He reckons he saw black brim here, the same as I mentioned yesterday I seen on the Davidson. He said you couldn't poke a stick of them, that there was just boiling with thousands of black brim here. It must be morning time trying to get up. And he said they were trying to get up the falls up here, and they were jumping and couldn't make it. So quite an interesting area. Now that the tree planting people have got it here, hopefully we'll be able to use this as a spot to take people to teach them things about the country. The other thing, since King Ranch took this place over, up there where the road is now, where the road used to be, about a mile up here, there's a little island in the Tully River. And a man named Ronnie Flegler and two others came up here in 1948 to survey what later became the Kumbalumba Dam. And they walked up there and they said there was 4 big black pender trees, they were enormous trees. And he said at the foot of them was big piles of the estuarine mussels, the big black mussels, all their shells. So that, and I know 2 other places where that happens. People going back from the coast to the tablelands, it showed that Aboriginal people had a big, used to come down quite often, and when they carry those estuarine things, that gave them the last lot of food. They'd cook them there and put them in the one place, just like the Middens in Tasmania. Is the only Aboriginal-made dam that I know of on the freshwater country, and they call it BanaWaraLingyu, and it means the big the vine that crawls up the tree with the big fruit on it like that. I can't think of it, but they said what they used to do, they'd get a rock, big rock, they'd roll it onto a raft upstream and bring it down and then drop it precisely where the dam was, and then they'd have the fish trap hooked to it then. That's what the dam was made for, to catch fish. And I don't know of any other place. It's not, you can see the line of rock still there, but some are shifted now because it's been years. See, they would have kept it in line and looked after it well, but they've been gone now 40 years, 50 years since the old people have been here. But that'd be really worth looking at, that. Alright, this place here is a very significant place for the old people, because this is where they used to camp here. But this particular place here around here is called Milbaby, and I come out this way here in 1939 when I was only 4-year-old, and it hasn't changed much except they've knocked the trees down, but most of it's just about the same. But as you can see, it's spectacular. You'll see how lovely camping place it is. Plenty of water, plenty of wood, plenty of nice places to camp. So you can see why the old people would be very, consider this a very special place. You can see how pretty the place is. Particularly, you just down there, the water hole, you catch eels and fish and turtles and things there. There was plenty of food around here in the old days if you knew how to catch it. This place is called Milbaby in the spot, and the creek is called Gunnabullin. And all I can say is I've seen this place over a lifetime, and I feel very privileged that I still can come back here and have a look at the old home, even though it's 2008 now. Okay, we mentioned back there earlier there's a lot of good things along this track, amazing things to talk about, and this particular place has got huge significance to Aboriginal people of the area, in that this is one of the places they use as a healing place. And my Uncle Willie, who died 3 or 4 years ago, they came up here just after 1918. My mother, Uncle Willie, Uncle Spider, Auntie Lily, and Uncle Dave Barlow. They were little fellows, they went up here. But Uncle Willie said when he was small, when somebody was very sick, the old people would take them out and sit them on a rock in the middle there. And he said, amazingly, these snakes had come in from everywhere. And that person had to sit still, and those snakes used to crawl all over them. And then the snakes would go away, and that person could come out and they'd be cured. That's the story that was handed to me years ago. And it's funny enough, just back there, I had a fellow, a school principal, come and he slipped and fell on the rock there, and he was in agony. And he's been a good man to go in the bush with. He never argued with me. I said, take your clothes off. And he looked at me, and I said, take your clothes off and jump in there. And he got out afterwards, and we went for another 6 or 8 miles, walk up the creek. He was good as gold. Then he came back another time feeling at odds and crook, and he went in there, and he got out. He said, Ernie, there's something in that pool. He said, I feel good. Amazingly enough, Uncle Willie was the last Aboriginal I know of that actually was able to tell that story. And it's called Jirrbal, the place, which is the water python, the big yellow water python. A lot of this type of knowledge is not available outside in books. So that's the story about this thing.
No place like home. There's no place like home. Ngayon bomba gorilangin bomba. What I'm telling you is what true. Yeah. Yes. There's no place like home. There's no place like home. It's what they're telling you.